Right, hello there. Thanks for joining us on board yet another edition of NDAMBA on GP Media Television. It's always a pleasure knowing that you all out there are always in your numbers. Tune in to watch NDAMBA on GP Media Television. On today's edition, we shall be highlighting to talk about various topics in the world of sport. We're beginning with the CAF Champions League, where we have Colomb of the Jan Lobo part and parcel of the second round preliminaries. They are facing MC Algiers here in Cameroon coming up this Sunday. We shall also be telling you about how far the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, who have their last faith at the 2026 edition of the World Cup that will be hosted in America. And then they can CAF produce a 10th club or nation at the World Cup, which is also coming up. So these topics and much more will be dissected on board today's edition of NDAMBA just shortly after this. Thank you for joining us back on NDAMBA. Today we're going to be talking about the CAF Champion, like we told you, and that will be our very first topic. Not also forgetting the aspect that we shall be taking you to a report that was done on the Ago Oliver Sport Tournament at the Bamenda Central Prison. That will be coming out later in due course of this edition of the program. I'm not alone to be discussing these topics and much more on board today's edition of NDAMBA. And we have here very first time coming up on board this edition of NDAMBA is To Clinton. He's a sport journalist. You're welcome on board, To Clinton.
Thank you so very much, Peter. It's a pleasure being on board NDAMBA this blessed day for us to dissect stories and while not what's happening in Cameroon and the world at large.
Thank you so much. And we have one of our regular analysts and sport journalists on board, NDAMBA.
Tassi Peter, greetings to you and greetings to all the viewers of GP Media. It's nice being on board today.
And don't forget that you can also watch us live on our Facebook page. You go type GP Media Global Promotion Media and you have us on Facebook to watch us live. And also don't forget that you can send us your messages via WhatsApp. Numbers that will be displayed shortly on your screens when we start discussing issues here on NDAMBA. We'll be moving on straight away to talking about our very first topic for today, which has to do with the CAF Champions League. We are asking the question, is Colomb actually ready for the second round preliminaries with their game coming up on Sunday here in Cameroon before the return leg game that will be played over there in Algeria? I'll begin with you, the lady first, Lenzemu. You've been watching Colomb since they lastly played in the first preliminary round and they qualified from there, preparing for the second challenge, which is face a giant in African football, MC Algiers. We've been watching much more their training sessions. Are they actually ready for this second round preliminaries?
That's it, Peter. Moving to the second preliminary round means that they are ready and they have what it takes to beat MC Algiers. I must say MC Algiers is a heavyweight when it comes to African football. They have clinched the CAF Champions League once, but that was a very long time ago. And luckily for Colomb Sportive, they have never faced MC Algiers, so that will be good for them. I don't think there'll be any obstacles. Looking at the fact that they'll be playing at home with the 12th man in the pitch, I'm sure Colomb would definitely deliver.
All right, it says Colomb will definitely deliver. Are you buying that particular idea, given that we know exactly that MC Algiers, the opponent, are a heavyweight in African football, and then we have Cameroon that it's been long that we have had a team that went on to surpass the preliminary stages into the group stages of be the CAF Champions League or the CAF Confederations Cup.
Well, I must say, Peter, so many persons might be looking at Colomb Sportive in Jan Lobo as the underdogs in this game on match day, rather. But I want to say that let's get ready for an upset There's going to be an upset in as much as the game Colombe Sportive of the Njalobo and MC Algiers is concerned. To note that it was the same fate, or maybe what some other persons actually thought last time when Colombe was facing Giraffe here in Cameroon. Many never expected a draw from that game, and many never saw Colombe coming right up to this stage. So there is actually, like I said, let's get to expect an upset, because Colombe, with the likes of the players that they've been able to get at this stage of the competition, it tells us that Colombe Sportive of the Njalobo is ready to make Cameroon smile at the level of the African continent.
Well, I want to maybe end with your last statement. To make Cameroon smile, are we really sure that this team can make it high when it comes to this level of the tournament, given that we have much more experienced players anyway from the likes of MC Algiers? We know most of these players, they play in, week out. Are we confident that when Colombe steps into the field of play to meet MC Algiers in Cameroon first, they'll be up to that?
Now, here is what football is all about. When you know your tournament is tough, that's Peter, you actually prepare quite well. Your mentality is high. I must say, Colombe Sportive, the team know that they are going to be facing a heavyweight in Africa. So I'm sure a lot of strategies are being put in place in order to win that particular match. Like I said, it is football. There is no impossibility in football. I believe Colombe Sportive can do that. I've been watching their posts online. Their social media handles have been really busy talking about their training sessions and the rest. I believe they are ready and they'll do it for Cameroon.
Now, we're talking about Colombe of the Njalobo, and we know exactly that we've seen them playing, and many Cameroonians, to note, they are throwing their weight already behind Colombe of the Njalobo, even when we had the likes of FC Bolowa in the female category, Aigle Royal de la Menwa in also the CAF.
The youngest, I think the team has one of the youngest players, must say most youngest talented players in Cameroon, that is Jude Eno, who actually left Victoria United, went to Nigeria, and is back in Cameroon to well strengthen the squad of Colombe Sportive of the Njalobo. Not forgetting the likes of two international players. Just to note that the squad too was being strengthened with the likes of two international players who ply their trade in Cameroon, that's making their own profession here in our own league, to see that we are ready, and we're going. I see Colombe actually surpassing the group stages of this competition.
Okay. Just to add, Tassi Peter, away from the players, Colombe has a well-organized management team. Remember that football starts from there. It starts from the management body, how they are able to take care of the players, how they are able to galvanize funds, and what they are able to put in. You did say Cameroonians are putting their weight behind Colombe. That is because they are well organized. The body is well organized, and the thing that particular club can take Cameroon to the next level when it comes to CAF Champions League.
All right, now to Clinton, we know exactly that some players of MC Algiers, you know, these leagues over there in the north are quite competitive, to the level that we have some of these players who play in such teams. They also play in their national teams. We have here Colombe with the huge experience of these players. We don't have any of them at national team. Is it a call for concern?
Certainly, it is a call for concern. Not only Colombe, it is a cry of every other Cameroonian. Having home-based players to represent their own country in front of their own home crowd, it's really been a call for concern, not only by us, the sport pundits, but also just like the normal man on the street. They've been crying. We look at the likes of Chindo John Bosco, who was actually the Ballon d'Or winner for Cameroon, and you get not to find him in the list of players being called up for the national team. This is actually a call for concern, and I want to pray that in the days ahead we get to look at this and see how we can actually rectify this and make sure we give our own home base league the grandeur it deserves.
Yeah. Exactly. And I want to turn out to you, Lakel, to this aspect of motivation. Are we seeing that the Colomb players or the staff and all the management body are well motivated for such CAF competitions, given that since the last they played the second leg, in the first preliminary round, we saw some good motivation to an extent. Are we seeing that it will continue during this second segment of the preliminaries?
Definitely, Tassi Peter, it is going to continue. Like you earlier said, the motivation during the second match was quite enough. Reason why the players of Colomb Sportif had to deliver very, very well. They have moved to the next stage, and I believe that nothing is going to be stopping the management to motivate this particular team. I'm sure everything is being put in place because that match is just a few days ahead. Everything is being put in place for that particular match, and I'll be calling on all those of you who will be in Yaoundé. Please, you rush to the Amadou Aidjo Stadium and watch that particular match. It's a match that you will not want to miss, because trust me, I'll say Colomb Sportif will be beating MC Algiers.
Well, we hope to live to see how things will happen in the first leg. Here in Cameroon, we know exactly that the first leg which they played in the first preliminary round, they ended their game 0 goal on either side before going over there to pick up the qualification to the second round of the preliminaries. Now, we shall be looking forward to moving on to our very next topic. But before we do that, let's go to our machines to watch this report on Ago Oliver, who was at the Bamenda Central Prison with regards to football and sport. We know how joyous it is as a unifying factor, which it still remains in this 21st century. So let's go back to our machine to watch this report. When we come back, we shall be talking briefly on it before moving on to our next topic for today.
It was a joyful day on Wednesday, October 15, 2025 at the Bamenda Central Prison during the launching ceremony of the first edition of a handball and football competition donated by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Bafutuba constituency. To the Member of Parliament, his action is in response to God's words.
In the book of Hebrews 13, the Bible tells us from verse 1 to 3 that we should be mindful of those who are in prison. And in the book of Matthew 25 from 31 to 46, the Bible equally reminds us that on the last day when Christ will come with his angels, he will reward those who were mindful of those who are in prison.
The Member of Parliament also called on the inmates of the Bamenda Central Prison to communicate peace to their mates still carrying arms.
We took the opportunity to come towards them because we know that the prison is the center for reformation, and we know that they also communicate with the rest of their brothers and sisters, even those who are still in the bushes. And so in prison they understand the situation more better than those who are still continuously being deceived outside there. And we think that if we approach them here in prison, their message outside to those who are still in the deception will be clear.
The superintendent in charge of the Bamenda Central Prison appreciated the competition, which according to him strengthens peace amongst the inmates.
So it's a message of peace he has given to the inmate, and it will go far beyond the prison. The sport and physical exercise, and it's good for their health. It's good for the animation. You saw all the cultural group, all the dance group, and I think it's a good psychosocial support for our inmates, and is equally contributing for the preparation for their social reinsertion after release.
While thanking the Member of Parliament for the competition and the gift he brought, the inmate requested for television screens in order to get information. The Member of Parliament immediately bought 5 screens and donated to the inmates.
The TV set are really going to help us for information. We are going to take time to watch news and see everything that's going over the world. And the food item that was given is really going to add our ration in Bamenda Bamenda Central Prison because things are not really easy.
Sports at the Bamenda Central Prison is considered as a religion.
Sporting activities in Bamenda Central Prison make us feel relaxed. We don't think much being in a boarding bed. We feel relaxed attending the participation, so we are grateful. All the women, on behalf of them, we are grateful attending the participation because it really makes us feel relaxed.
In prison, we play more like for peace. In prison, automatically, it's not that easy being in prison. So when we come to the field to play football, we want to evacuate the stress, and we want to do that which we like to do. So football in prison is like a man that loves his wife.
The launching ceremony of the competition was animated by traditional dances from different village communities represented here at the Bamenda Central Prison. The Member of Parliament was accompanied to the Bamenda Central Prison by the Divisional Officer for Bafut, the Mayor of Bafut, the Mayor of Tuba, and the Mayor of Bamenda 1.
All right, so we watched there a beautiful report there done by Arnold Kwamo. Very beautiful report on encouraging sports disciplines, and also having the inmates also live some experiences, joyful moments anyway with regards to such sporting discipline. I'll begin with you, Lakel. You watch the report, and a good move by Honorable Ago Oliver to stand by the youths over there at the Bamenda Central Prison.
Like you said, football is a unifying factor, and I don't think anyone should be exempted when it comes to football. I must say that was a beautiful gesture from Ago Oliver to carry sports into the Bamenda Central Prison. It is quite important that those in prison feel the sports, feel the drama, the joy, and everything when it comes to football.
Exactly. And don't also forget that you can always leave us your comments or definitely your reactions via WhatsApp message on the number displayed on your screen, 676519644. You can use the number to chip in your contributions on board today's edition of NDAMBA. I don't know if you have comments about the report which you just watched, Clinton.
I think reports like this or gestures like this are meant to be encouraged to make our brothers and sisters who are in prison or where they find themselves. Some are there not because they actually wanted to be there, but maybe because of some circumstances that they get to find themselves where they are. So issues like this or stuff like this, we need to encourage them, and it's a good gesture. Honorable Ago Oliver stepping up to this one, we say kudos to him, and we pray that such moves like this continue so that we can actually make those in there feel our presence as well.
All right, dear viewers, we shall be moving on to our next topic on board this edition of NDAMBA. It has to do with the Indomitable Lions, their fate at the qualifiers to the 2026 edition of the World Cup. And we have already 9 African nations who have already picked up their direct qualification to the tournament, and definitely Cameroon occupying the second spot in Group D. They had the chance to make it to the World Cup playoffs, first of all in the African zone before making it to the intercontinental zone for the qualifiers for available 2 spots at the World Cup expedition. That road seems to be very long for so many Cameroonians, given that they are already giving up the hope of Cameroon qualifiers after their surprising and disappointing draw game which they played against Angola here in Cameroon. All right, Lenzimo Lakel, I know for sure that you watched the game, Cameroon against Angola, and in a match that it was with plenty of stakes. Should Cameroon win and hopefully Senegal, or rather Cape Verde loses or draws, Cameroon will make it to the World Cup. But unfortunately, Cape Verde pick up a sweet victory, and Cameroon also putting up a draw game. It also a little bit almost complicated their chances of qualifying as second best in as far as the classification were concerned.
You said it all, Tassi Peter. It was really, really complicated for the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. The issue of if is always boring. I don't always like it when we take chances in such a tournament. I must say it is quite embarrassing for me because I know how strong Cameroon is when it comes to football in the African continent. But nevertheless, we now find ourselves in this situation, but then we need to correct some certain mistakes. I'm going to start with the head coach of the Indomitable Lions, Mark Breeze. He should pay attention to changes. Timing. Choupo-Moting and Vincent Abubakar came in very late, and I must say the way they came in was really, really impressive. The kind of force that they put was really, really impressive, but it was too late to do some changes like that. For me, that those changes would have been done maybe at the beginning of the second half, but Mabrice had to wait for a very, very long while. The deed has been done. We are not going to get back to it again, but now we have Cameroon, who will be facing the Democratic Republic of Congo. I must say we have Nigeria, we have Gabon, we have DR Congo, and we have Cameroon. I must say those are names known for football in the continent. I must say Nigeria is quite hungry. Is hungry to actually move to the intercontinental playoff, but our viewers and Tassi Peter, Cameroon has what it takes to move to the intercontinental playoff if and only they are going to focus and listen to the head coach of DR Congo. I must say they are not going to be coming here to have a safari trip. They are in for business. They say they know Cameroon is a good nation when it comes to football, but they have to fight for their place in the World Cup, and we are hoping that the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, true, we have the players, we have very good players. I must say one of our defenders was out of that game due to some yellow cards. Another winger out because of injury. We are hoping that before we have the playoff that will be coming up in November, those players must have been fine, and Mark Breeze should be dotting his I's and cutting the T's when it comes to the Lions Den.
Exactly, we're looking forward to that particular game. As you quietly enumerated, we know exactly how difficult it was for Cameroon after losing out on a defender which came back with us, Mikel Ngande Gadri, who was not part and parcel of that game due to accumulated yellow cards. And Clinton, we have Cameroon that is going into these playoffs in the African zone against, it's a direct knockout stage. There's no need for any second leg, so the teams know exactly what is at stake. Looking at Cameroon playing against Angola, do we see Cameroon moving further in these African playoffs against DR Congo? DR Congo is a no-nonsense side. At any moment in time, they can surprise any other team. We have if Cameroon surpasses stage against DR Congo, they will meeting either Gabon or Nigeria in the finals, and we know exactly how Nigeria qualified to this playoff, quite hungry on the last day, beating their opponent by 4-0.
I must say, Peter, if the game I watched within the week, that is Cameroon, Angola, should Cameroon play the same way they play against Angola, the chances of Cameroon pulling through were very, very slim, I must say, to be frank with you. We saw a team lacking in so many compartments, a team playing a game that the fans too didn't actually understand what was actually going on. The technical bench too, nobody seems to understand what was going on. Look at, just like Lake rightly said, look at when the changes were done. You do substitutions at the 83rd minute, bringing in 3 attackers. Why choose the 83rd minute? They are playing for 7 minutes. What impact will they have on the game in 7 minutes? Or let's say 10 minutes or so in the game? So I want to think that if Cameroon wants to make good use of its chances things should be corrected. We had good players, no doubt. We had good players on the bench. Vesan Abubakar was there, Chupu Moting, Christian Basogok, that could actually make the difference. Maybe from the 45th minute of the game, or maybe the 60th minute of the game. Angola actually pressed on Cameroon like they were playing in front of their own home crowd.
Exactly.
Which, to me, I think if Cameroon play the way they play against Angola, we have no chances for the World Cup.
Now, we saw a Cameroonian side who lacked much more in the first half. They tried to correct that in the second half, but it was not moving on well. But then, look at the coming in of players at the 81st minute of player Abubakar Vincent, and we had Basogok, and the impact Basogok created in that particular moment he came on, but it was already late. So are we blaming the head coach that he did not make right his substitutions at the game?
Yes, definitely, Tassi Peter. That is what we are saying. Mabry should actually know when to change a player and why he's changing the player. Because if you don't know why you're changing a particular player, you will not be able to give instruction to the next player or tell the next player what to do. I believe those changes were very late. Had it been it was early enough, maybe Cameroon would have been leading 1-0. Look at Basogok. We had a lot of free kicks when he came in. We had a lot of corners being won by Cameroon, and we would have capitalized on those particular free kicks and corner kicks, but it was rather unfortunate that we had no time. So the head coach of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon need to work on that. I believe he has a team, and they should be working on that. If they don't work on that, then it's sorry, because it's a very long drive. Remember, after this, the person who qualifies to the intercontinental qualifiers will be facing teams from, that is North America and South America. Mostly we have a lot of beautiful teams from that end.
Just let you know that the playoffs will be coming up on November 13. That's when it will be on neutral ground in Morocco. But then the huge question is, Clinton, can Cameroon qualify, first of all, from these African playoffs, and secondly, can they make it in the intercontinental playoffs to the World Cup?
Simply, I would say yes. The quality of players we've got.
Okay.
We have to believe in them, and equally we should equally believe in head coach Mabrice. I think he's been doing a great job since he came in. He's been doing a great job, and so we only need to adjust some certain things. We have the likes of Baleba, we have the likes of Buemo, we have the likes of Eta Eyong. I think he's one of the most talked about players in Europe as of now. And with this quality of players, nobody will want to believe that Cameroon will not make it through this phase of the competition. So just like I said earlier on, we just need to work on the coach just needs to work on how to do his substitutions. And I must say, at times it is not like he doesn't know that he has to do changes. There are times that coaches, they go through a lot. They are like trying to anticipate, like, okay, let me give this player this 5 minutes to see if he will actually improve. And they forget to know that as you're anticipating or as you're agitating, the time too is running out. So I believe Cameroon can actually make it out of this phase of the competition and pull through to the next stage.
All right, Laquelle, the same view?
Yeah, in fact, I'm seeing Cameroon. I'm not seeing any other team. If at all we are going to correct our mistakes, we have just some few lapses. If at all we correct our mistakes, I'm sure we will be going to the intercontinental qualifiers, and why not grab the spot?
All right, the hopes and aspirations are quite high here in the studio this day, and focusing on Cameroon qualifying to the intercontinental zone or the playoffs before making it to the World Cup. That is, first of all, make it here in Africa, in Morocco, come November 13. Before, if they qualify from there, they'll meet in the finals, Gabon or Team Nigeria. And many persons are really quick to want to wait for a Cameroon-Nigeria encounter. Are you also anticipating such?
Yes. I'm anticipating Cameroon, Nigeria as usual. We know how Cameroon, Nigeria games usually look like. Even at the level of the female category, it's always fire for fire, and we are anticipating something of that nature. If we are not anticipating something of that nature, I get to look at Cameroon, Gabon. That is another cracker.
Okay.
Cameroon, Gabon. But now, will Nigeria allow Gabon pull through? That will be the next thing. That will be the next question that many will want to ponder on. But I see, I likely see Cameroon and Gabon in the finals.
Okay.
Yes, I see Cameroon, Gabon.
You've seen it.
All right. Now, after looking at this, Lakel, we have African nationals out of the 9 qualified nations who are in the World Cup. We have 7 of them are nationals who took or guided their national teams to the World Cup. Many persons are raising the concern or the question about should Africa not learn a lesson and recruit not their own nationals to lead their national teams, especially when it has to do with players who have played in the team and have retired and are coming back to the coaching career.
Well, we had Rigobert Song, but it's rather unfortunate that he could not remain there. And of course, he put up quite a good performance in the last World Cup, beating, oh my God, that was a very, very good memory. And we have a lot of talents here in Africa. We are talented. We have good coaches. I don't want to be quoting our local coaches like Coach Marisha, Coach
there that many of you are sending some maybe voice messages. Maybe we can do that next edition, but on set please, we want to have your text messages for us to read and to have your own reactions or comments about the program which is ongoing. And we are on the topic, can Africa produce a 10th nation at the FIFA World Cup, which is coming up? We know it's an expanded edition of the World Cup. 48 nations will be part and parcel of the FIFA World Cup in America. And should that happen and Cameroon not being present, will you blame the coaches? Will you blame the federation? Will you blame the ministry for all their wahalas? Or who actually we are blaming go to Lakel if Cameroon does not succeed to be the 10th nation to qualify to the World Cup?
That is why it is called a team. In football, it is all about teamwork. From the management to the players, everybody has a role to play. So if at all we don't make it to the World Cup, then there must have been some lapses, maybe from the management or the players. Because if there were no lapses, I'm sure we would have moved through, because we were the favorite to actually move through. We had all what it takes to qualify directly to the World Cup. That's it, Peter. I'm really angry. I'm really angry with the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, I must say. But nevertheless, I would say if at all anything goes wrong, it is a team. We are going to start from the top management. We point out their wrongs, what they have been doing that is not all right. Us like whistleblowers will be bringing it to their face and tell them this is not correct, this is not correct. And of course we'll point out the lapses of the players too. I must emphasize that football is all about teamwork. That is why we have 11 players in the field.
Exactly. Now, Clinton, are we going to say if Cameroon is not the 10th nation to qualify to the World Cup, we'll blame it on the stifled relationship between the ministry and FECAFOOT? Because we know that at one point in time it almost hampered the preparations for the Lions playing their games.
We might want to blame the FA in as much as we might not want to blame the FA. Some might want to say let's get to put the blame on the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education. Some will say let's put the blame on the head coach, Mark Peter Brice. But I want to say here that football is a collective game, and and it is one unifying factor, and it shouldn't have been this. It shouldn't have gotten to this level. Peter, I must tell you, we shouldn't have gotten to this level where we are now looking at the possibility of fighting at the level of playoffs before we are picking a ticket, which will actually come at the cost of something. Now, blaming the FA,
that's not right.
we might feel like it's not right, but to some, it's right. In as much as the FA president feels like he is doing his job, it is his duty to do this, to assist in this area. But when you don't give him the chance to work like that, it affects things. Same as the head coach, he's complaining on his own part. At the end of the day, we don't know who actually is the real cause. But the only thing I want to plead on is that we, at this stage, we didn't want to get to this stage, but we are here already. All we need to do now is to rally behind the Indomitable Lions, get the team pick up that 10th spot that is remaining for us to get to the World Cup. There's never been a World Cup without Cameroon, and a World Cup without Cameroon is no World Cup. It's the same like the Nations Cup. A Nations Cup without Cameroon is no Nations Cup to Cameroonians, and most of us we might actually feel discouraged to even watch the World Cup. You see, at any stage where Cameroon is being eliminated at the World Cup, it becomes a different affair. So now I want to think that it is that moment where we need to let go our ego, let go our differences, and rally behind the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. It is football, and football is a unifying factor. Football, like that's you always say, NDAMBA na joy, NDAMBA na peace.
Okay. So, all right, definitely we see on board NDAMBA this day, and we're talking about our topic for today, which is displayed on your screens. Can Africa produce a 10th nation at the World Cup? And we are highlighting much more of the possibilities and all of that. Now, I want to also discuss a little bit about the aspect that we've had, should we say, in quote, smaller football nations who are uprising, who knew much more of Cabo Verde or Cape Verde to qualify to the World Cup like that.
Of course, Cape Verde has been very impressive when it comes to football in Africa, I must admit. Those are the surprises we get when it comes to football. You should be prepared for the surprises when it comes to football. And I must say, I'm quite impressed with the performance that Cape Verde was able to put up before qualifying for the World Cup. We have a lot of names that will be representing Africa at that global stage. I believe our representatives will be doing quite well this time at the World Cup.
All right, any the same view or separate?
I want to think that football in the 21st century now, it's no longer like we used to have it in the 19th or the 18th centuries. There is no big name in football as of now. We've seen Mauritania, we've seen Benin, Nigeria suffering in the hands of Benin, South Africa suffering in the hands of Benin. We have Tanzania, Zimbabwe that just came in, actually giving South Africa a headache, you can imagine. So to tell you that football, in the game of football now, football has actually evolved. It has evolved, and there is no small nation in the game of football.
Okay. All right, we'll soon be gliding out on board today's edition of NDAMBA. But before we take our leave of you today, we'll just maybe talk about the upcoming Northwest Feka Food Gala match that'll be coming up this Sunday at 11 a.m. local time at the Bamenda 1 Proximity Stadium in Atugola. That is in Bamenda 1. The game will be taking place. It will pit Northwest Feka Food Northwest Feka Food and the Northwest Referees versus coaches and club presidents. That's going to be the game. Already on social media, it's already in his WhatsApp group. It's already boiling and making a lot of news and a lot of debates and a lot of fun time around that particular Northwest Africa Foot Gala match. Maybe some comments about that gala match, Clinton?
I want to say it's a game. We actually had a beautiful football season in the Northwest region for the 2025 football season, where we actually produced Dream Team FC as our own champion of the region. Unfortunately, they were unable to pick up an Elite 2 ticket, and I guess this game is coming in to celebrate the effort that we actually put in both sport journalists, the organizing team of this competition, the coaches and the referees. This game is to celebrate their effort put in the 2025 football season, to see that the Northwest region has get the best representative, and the representative actually should come from the field of play, and that was exactly what we actually got. And talking with the organizers of this competition within the week, we are just discussing, and they actually told me that this game is just to bring together sport stakeholders in the region to see that we can actually share ideas ahead of the next football season, and while not produce another beautiful representative, and while not this time around get that Elite 2 ticket that we've been fighting for, Peter.
Raquel, is the game going to interest you much more?
Of course, it is going to interest me. Though Clinton has thrown more light on what the game is all about. I cannot wait to see the likes of Coach Ngwarimi, Coach Pewake Emmanuel, Coach Anuwa Franklin, and just not the fourth referee of that particular encounter, Tabukong No Man. I cannot wait to see him. So I'm just so excited. I cannot wait for Sunday. I made a comment. I hope the coaches will not be shouting and giving instructions on the pitch rather than playing football. Giving instruction is different. Yeah. Having football in the head is different from playing football. For the FECA food officials, I don't know if they will be signing the communiques. They should be careful. They will not be signing communiques to give to club presidents. As for the referees, they will not be raising their flags or giving cards and the rest. So is going to be really, really interesting. The club presidents will not be shouting that I'm angry. I'm angry with your performance. So they will be there. It's a match that all of you will not want to miss. I urge all of you to move to Tafi. That is the Bamenda One Proximity Stadium at Tugula on Sunday, 11.
Thank you so very much for joining us back after that very brief break. Definitely, we're going to be signing out today. But before that, Raquel, I want us to talk about this. Tom Glitty mentioned that particular point. Don't we think that also all these officials can jointly organize a match? That's the Northwest FECA Foot officials, the referees, the coaches, the club presidents, to also join to play a game against sport journalists?
I think it's a possibility. It's a possibility, and maybe they are watching us. They will actually might want to think about that. Get through this and see if we can actually have a game like that. It's going to be an interesting game though. We get to watch Tasi Peter, we get to watch Kwamo Anot. He's actually a good goalkeeper. We get to watch the likes of G. Nelson Chefo and why not the Secretary General of FECA Food. I don't know where, if you are calling that game, where will he play? It will be, will it be for sport journalists or for FECA Food? So Tasi Peter, it's actually a good initiative, and if they can embrace this one, then we are ready to welcome the game, and we are ready to play.
Like if such a game is organized, will you play in that encounter?
Of course, I'm going to be the goalkeeper.
Okay.
Of making sure Kwame will not sit on the bench. I'll be the goalkeeper of that particular encounter, looking at my size and everything, my capability. I'm sure I'll be good to save the balls coming from Fekafoot and other officials. Okay.
Now there's this aspect which it was stressed upon during the on the communique that announced the match, and as well the referees, about the time will be strictly expected. But I want to underline the aspect here that veteran rules shall be applied. Is that a call for concern?
Of course, it's a call for concern. You know, we have fathers. You don't want people to lose their husbands. You don't want people to lose their boyfriends. You don't
fathers
want people
who shout at other youths who play football in the field of play.
So we have to. We will be having a lot of substitutions.
Okay.
And we'll be having a lot of water break too.
Okay.
In that particular match.
All right, just to let you all know that particular game, Northwest Fekafoot officials and referees versus coaches and club presidents will be live on GP Media television, so you will not also want to miss such an encounter come this Sunday at exactly 11 a.m. on the dot. The match will be live, will begin live via your screen, so don't miss out that particular tough duel that will celebrate football in the region. And Laka, I want to thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Clinton, for making our time to be part and parcel on board today's edition of NDAMBA. Maybe your last comment before we take on.
Thank you for having me, Tassi Peter, and I would just want to call on everybody to rally behind Column Sportive, because that is the focus for now. I must say that is the focus. They have a very big game ahead of them, and they should rally behind Column. If you have the means of traveling to Yaoundé, do so please, and support Column. All right,
Clinton, your last comment?
I want to say thank you so very much for having me on set. It's been a pleasure, and to all the sport lovers in the city of Bamenda, Cameroon at large, I want to see our pride at the level of the African continent. As at now, is Column Sportive of the NDAMBA. So let's not rally behind them, just like Lakel have said. It's on Sunday. The field is the Fandena, that is the Amadou Ahijo Stadium in Yaoundé. Let's rally behind Column Sportive. Let's get back to the African continent and get the glory where Cotton Sport of Garoua usually used to give us. It is at the place of Column now to give us that joy. We can only support them by cheering for them in the field of play. And if you have the means, why not? Let's drive to Yaoundé on Sunday for Column Sportive of the NDAMBA.
All right, I want to thank you all so much, the viewers. Those of you were indicating that we are part and parcel on board NDAMBA for today. Don't miss out our next edition, which we're promising to be very much interesting. Don't miss out every Thursdays. Yeah, every Thursdays. We are live every Thursdays from 4 p.m. local time. Do well to watch NDAMBA also on your TV screens, as well as on social media handles on Facebook. Want to thank you all so very much for being there. Keep on sending your comments. We want to help us to also build by sending us your criticism, be it positive or negative. We welcome all of them, and we'll see how from there we're able to build up GP Media and NDAMBA on your TV screens. Do well to stay blessed from us on board to you all out there. It is. Bye-bye for now.